I'm back, and this video is going to be on Piggie Playtime. So I think this is a really important part of looking after your guinea pig, and maybe people don't think how much time they actually need out of the cage so they can run around and have a play. So yeah, I've just got them out at the minute, and they've been cooped up in their hutch for quite a while, so they're running around lots, which is really cute, isn't it? You want to say hello? Lexi. Oh, you're having a nibble. So anyway, I'm going to start off with when, where and how often. Right, well, how often and when, kind of the same thing. I let them out in my room. I try to do it, say, 3 times a week, preferably every other day really. But if I'm really busy and I get in late and they're out in the hutch and it's dark, I don't really want to risk trying to pull them out because they don't like me. They don't like coming out of the hutch, and they make a lot of fuss. They don't like being picked up. You're popcorning over there. So during the daytime, if I'm in, I try to do it. It's nice and light, and also it's good for taking videos. What are you doing? So yeah, so as I said, about 3 times a week I try to do it. And where? Well, oh, Pixie. I put them out in my room because I haven't really got anywhere else to put them out in, and obviously I live in a student house. There is the living room, but if anyone wanted to use it and I had my guinea pigs running around, then they won't be too happy. But so yeah, I'm quite lucky to have a big room, which is why I brought them to uni with me. Hello, Piggie. Okay, so I'm going to start off with safety, because it's a very important part of Piggie floor time, to make sure that they don't have access to anything that might harm them, especially if they're very young. I've got a few stories to tell you about scary times when I thought I'd lost them under various pieces of furniture. So anyway, I have this, and this kind of thing is a really good idea to just block out entire areas that you don't want them to go in. So under here I have all my wires, which obviously I don't want them to be nibbling, and over here it's just a lot of stuff, and under there, under my bookcase, and all these bits of paper and bottles and things that I don't, you know, it'd be just a hassle to move all that out of the way, so it's much easier to just have a playpen thing like this that can just be used to block it all off. You can use a playpen with bigger sides preferably, so you know they can't get out, because mine can jump over this, but they won't do it if it's just blocking this area off, because they don't really want to get, they're not bothered about getting round there and over there. If I was blocking, say, half the room off, then they would be more interested about getting over it to a different area. So yeah, I think it's best to let them have access to the whole room basically, as long as you block off any bits, because playpens can often be quite small, and they can't really run around. They love to run around lots. But you know, it's better than nothing, definitely. You're going in your hay? So yeah, that's for safety, avoiding wires and things they might chew on that won't be good for them, like plastic and, I don't know, various items. I've got my shoes over there, they're not really bothered about that, but The main point is that don't ever leave them alone, because if they did start to chew on something, I don't know, maybe if they started randomly gnawing on my shoes over there, I wouldn't be too happy, and it probably wouldn't be too good for them. And like this kind of thing, this box is held together with sellotape. If they started randomly eating that, then, you know, if I was here, it's fine because I can just tell them not to, and they wouldn't be too bothered about going back to it. Instead, like, push them away or whatever. Oh yeah, so especially with young pigs, blocking off certain areas, certain gaps is very important, and even things like if they went down it, it wouldn't really do them any harm. Like, I've got that bit by the bed. They don't really bother with bits like that anymore now they're older, but if they were young they'd probably go under there and maybe try and get round the back of the bed, whereas now they couldn't fit, and the worst thing they're going to do is go down there and do a wee or something. But when they were little, I was even tempted to stuff a towel under here or something, because they can squash themselves down to be quite flat, and, you know, if it got down there, it'd be awful trying to get them out, and you might not even be able to do it, and they might get squashed. Which happened when I was on holiday. My dad was cleaning out the cage and Sprite made a run for it and she lodged herself under my desk, and my dad didn't know what to do. I told him to switch everything off and move the wires out the way, but he said he just couldn't chase her out or anything, so she was under there for a whole night, bless her. And I was on holiday and really worried because my dad had rang me to tell me what happened. So yeah, that's another point. If you've got anyone looking after them, make sure you proof the room before you go on holiday or whatever, because then even if they do escape, they can't get stuck under somewhere. And Pixie, little devil, she ended up, honestly, she ended up going under the bedside table, which is probably a similar sized gap to this, maybe a bit bigger. And I had no idea where she'd gone because I blocked off the desk and everything. I was getting really worried, but I kind of lifted it up and she squeezed out. God knows how she got under there to the start. But yeah, if they're very little, any gaps like this I'd block off just to make sure that they're safe. You want to go in there? Nothing interesting in there. So yeah, that's safety covered, and I'm sorry this is going to be a very long video. Next is pooping, which obviously if they're going to be out, I put them out for a fair amount of time, sometimes up to 4 hours, you know. If they're just having fun, I don't really like to put them back after an hour because it doesn't feel like long enough. So obviously they're going to want to go to the toilet a lot in that time. So it's really good to have something like this, some form of litter pan. These bigger ones are probably better because then they can both fit in it at the same time. And if you put the hay in it and the food in it, they'll jump in to have a nibble. What are you looking at? And hopefully they'll go to the toilet at the same time. But to avoid any accidents around your room, which obviously you don't want, it's best to block off any areas that are under cover because they're attracted to the darkness, and, or with mine anyway, once they get into a little space they just instantly want to go to the toilet there. Maybe it's something to do with marking that place as their own or something. But yeah, if they do go under there, which they're not that bothered about, they probably will go to the toilet. I usually block that off with a cushion or something actually. But under here as well, sometimes I'm sat at my desk, laptop, and they come under here and I just nudge them away with my feet, because if they stay under there and I've got the chair as well, then they'll just end up sitting there and pooping and weeing. So yeah, avoid undercover areas and have some kind of litter tray for them. So in general, things that they might need when they're out is hay, definitely, because they eat hay 24/7 basically, and they really should have it all the time. I also put them the pellets out in case they want to have a nibble. Water, I guess, I don't know, I could put a bowl of water out, but they don't really drink that much anyway, and I've never noticed them, after I've put them back in, suddenly going to the water bottle and being really thirsty and having to drink loads. And also, if you give them the veggies at playtime, the veggies give them a lot of water, so I don't think that's really, not really necessary to have the water out, unless they are piggies that drink a lot. I think it varies. Mine hardly drink anything. Whenever I change the water, it's basically full to the same level it was when I filled it up. So I guess it depends. If you know your guinea pig likes to drink a lot of water, then think about putting the bottle out, or a bowl or something if you can't attach the bottle to anywhere. Plus, if you had the bottle, they might not realise it's there, I don't know. They can be rather silly sometimes. But yeah, it's fun to give them the veggies out here, because then they can get all excited over it. And the last point is things, toys basically, stuff that you want them to play with when they're out and about. I put their tunnel in their other tunnel, and today I've also put their big box that all their Pets at Home stuff came in, so they can run around. It's a really good idea to have something large in the middle of the room, because then they, I don't know, mine just run around it crazily. And my old guinea pigs used to do that as well, so I think it's kind of a thing. They've developed a love for this all of a sudden. They just totally ignored it when I bought them it, but now they're eating it all. So yeah, a good thing is treats like this. If I put this in their cage, it'd soak up the wee, kind of see where it has a bit when I put it in there at first. So I took it out, I put it on the radiator to dry it out, and now I only have it out at playtime so it can't get wrecked. Because if they wee all over it, they don't really want to eat it anyway, to be honest, do they? So yeah, that's out now, and plus it stops them from eating it all at once, which maybe it won't be too good for them. So yeah, I'm going to let them get on with it and stop trying to mate each other. So yeah, for a bit of a conclusion, playtime is very important. Try to do it, 2-3 times a week, and it's really good for if they're out in the hutch. You can bring them out and bond with them, they get to know you better, and they can, strengthen their bonds with each other to get to play. Okay, so that's it for today. I hope I've given you some good advice, maybe some new ideas on how to have a good floor time with your guinea pigs. So bye bye. Bye bye, Piggy. Bye. Sparky. I'm gonna say goodbye.